Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So I'm here today with another edition of BookList Thursday, because it's Thursday. This is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book, thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. So today's video is one you're going to want to save. We're going to talk about bingeable books. These are books that once you pick them up, you're not going to put them down. You're going to fly through them, cancel your plans, plan a long weekend, whatever you need to do. But these are ones that you're just going to want to plow through. That's just the way it's going to be. So I think I've got a decent variety of bingeable books, in my opinion, and what they might be. First one I want to talk about is The Appeal. This is by Jimenez. This is a mystery where we have 15 suspects. And it's kind of up to us to decide to go through this journey of figuring out what the real truth is. There's a local theater group. They are in the midst of rehearsals when something very bad happens. Tragedy strikes. The family of the director of Martin Hayward and his wife, Helen, the play's star. So with this family, their young granddaughter was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. And has been in experimental treatments for some time, and it's costing them a whole lot of money. And the castmates have rallied to kind of basically put together a fund for them. But not everybody is convinced of the experimental treatment's efficiency or the legitimacy of them, nor of the good intentions maybe that everyone is portraying at the moment. Tensions start growing within this community. Things come to a shocking head at the explosive dress rehearsal, and the next day a dead body is found and an arrest is made. This brings us up to the trial, where two young lawyers sift through the materials that they have collected with growing suspicion of who the killer might be and what might be going on. So this is told in as if we have all of that evidence. So there's emails, there's text messages, there's a couple flyers in here, there is letters. So that's how the story is told in this really unique format. And because of that, I flew through this because it's like a whole pot of tea. Drama. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was unique. I'm excited. There's another book out that Janice just released called The Twyford Code. Kind of a similar writing style. So I want to make sure I pick that up at some point. I'm sure I'll binge it. Next one to binge from a historical fiction perspective, because we are in the midst of Historathon. So if you need a recommendation, Secrets of a Charmed Life by Susan Meisner. I know I've talked about this one before, but this is just I think it's one of the best World War II historical fiction set in London. We have dual timelines, which is always a great addition to a historical fiction. But really we're focusing 1940s England, and we're focusing on sisters who are sent away to safety. One of them is a little older. I want to say she's like, how old is she? 15. And then a much younger sister, Julia. The 15-year-old Emmy, has this ambition to return to this city because she feels like she's going to miss her opportunity to become a fashion designer. Yet Julia, her sister, really needs her to stay where they are safe. She may act on impulse at some points and puts herself into some really interesting situations. Definitely a heart stopper at some points. So it was a really great historical fiction. Like I said, I think you'd really like it. The chapters they're not too long. They're maybe 5 pages or less. So I know that helps get through helps with a bingeable book. That's for sure. Next up, I do want to talk about a series because sometimes we're in the mood to just binge through more than just one book. And the one that I keep gravitating towards is A Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. This follows Calla, who has been estranged from her father for quite some time and makes a trip to Alaska to kind of reconnect with him. She has grown up, I want to say in like Boston or something, New York. She grew up in the lower 48 most of her life because her mom fled Alaska with her when she was really, really young. Just didn't fit with the rural lifestyle that her father Ren had. She finds out that her father's kind of days are numbered. His health is not great, and so she takes this as an opportunity to go to Alaska and kind of reconnect with him. So in the process, we have this city girl going to this very rugged location, very cut off from the world. It's Alaska, so if you have any sort of pull towards that type of a setting, highly recommend this. And then of course there's Jonah, the next door neighbor, who is rather handsome. So we get a little lovey-dovey piece to the book, complete, with misunderstandings and an interesting dynamic between those two, and then her trying to connect with her dad, and it's a whole book full of fantastic tension. And then there's a series. There's 2 additional books plus a little novella. So if you want to keep going, you can keep going. What do I have next? We have more of companion novels. Abby Jimenez is really, really great as it not being technically a series like Simple Wild you'd want to read in order. This one you don't necessarily have to read in order. They're more companion novels where there's character connections between the two of them. But Abby Jimenez books I always binge so quickly. They are rom-coms. They usually involve some sort of couple that is either newly meeting each other. They sometimes don't like each other. Sometimes it's they really love each other, but they live in 2 very different locations. This one is they have to work with each other and maybe it's not the best match at the time. But I love them. They're funny, they're cheeky, and they're just really, really quick reads. Another bingeable author for me, honestly, is Alan Gratz. He's mainly a middle grade author and writes a lot about kind of turbulent times in the history of the world. So this refugee follows 3 kind of middle grade kids, I want to say 12 to 13-ish. One in the 1930s, Joseph is living in Nazi Germany. We have Isabel living in Cuba in the 1990s and Mahmoud living in Syria in 2015. So it follows each of their situations that they're faced with during conflict in their own country and being forced into this refugee life. Alan Gratz covers subjects like 9/11. He covers concentration camps. He covers, I want to say his newer one is more Vietnam War maybe, but a lot of wartime subjects is what he writes. It's middle grade, it goes quick. The way he writes, it goes quick. The way he has his characters, you can't help but fall in love with them. But these are definitely bingeable books. I want to say I read this in one sitting, one day. So highly recommend that as well. Is that everything? I think so. I don't have any other bingeable books next to me at the moment. Oh, maybe I do. Another really good format for bingeable books would be anything written in verse. So I actually have a bunch of middle grades next to me that my daughter just read. This one is Root Beer Candy and Other Miracles by Sherry Green. I know she really enjoyed this one. But books written in verse, they just have a way of grabbing you into the story fairly quickly. And yet, because it's in verse, the pages turn pretty fast. I want to say Emily read this in one sitting. We have 11-year-old Bailey. She believes in miracles. She has to. It will take a miracle to keep her warring parents together. This summer, they're at marriage counseling camp, leaving Bailey and her little brother Kevin with their estranged grandmother in the west coast island town of Felicity Bay. There, an eccentric, deposed minister prophesizes that a stranger from the sea will change everything. When Bailey discovers a mermaid-shaped piece of driftwood, she begins to believe that the mermaid is this stranger from the sea. Then when a dolphin becomes stranded on the beach, Bailey forgets her own troubles and rouses the reluctant locals into action. But yeah, Emily would highly recommend this. She enjoyed that one. Anyways, or any book written in verse. So those are my bingeable books. Add them to your list. You'll get through them really, really quick. If you have any bingeable books that you've read lately, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm always looking for a good book I can't put down. Otherwise, head over to Sarah's channel and see what she has for today. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I will see you next time. Bye.